Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. I want to welcome you to today's live stream. What's up? What's up? And thank you all who are going to be coming in to watch this. If you are joining live, be sure to type the hashtag live. And if you're going to be watching a replay, make sure you type the hashtag replay so we can know at what point you are joining us. In this video, you're going to learn 3 ways that government contracts can work for you. And I think that's a very, very important aspect, just knowing how it can actually work for you. Now, this is going to be for you if you haven't started this journey yet, and maybe you're on the fence. I don't know about getting started because maybe perhaps you don't really understand the benefit of adding this simple B2G business model into your business, right? So B2G, for those of you who are not familiar, that's just business to government. So it's an actual business model. So remember, a while back, I did a training on like the different types of business models you can have. And one is like B2B, which is business to business, B2C, business to consumers. But this little known business model, basically perspective, is B2G, which is about doing business with the government. And so this is definitely going to be for you if you haven't started on this journey. You're still trying to figure things out. You're guessing yourself and questioning yourself if this is something for you, because we want to talk about today the 3 ways that it can actually work for you to help you reach your goals. So for those of you who are brand new, I'm Karwana D. I'm your government contract strategist, and I'm going to be sharing 3 most beneficial ways that government contracts can help you build a highly profitable business. And it all comes down to, what do you want to get out of this strategy? Basically, what do you want to get out of this strategy? For those who've been following me for a while, you know that I teach women and minority small business owners, or just small business owners in general, how to catapult their business to 10x, maybe 20x, or even greater their business revenues. Right now, this strategy has saved so many business owners stress, from stress during the pandemic, because while everyone else was closing their doors, struggling to get customers, not even getting paid from their regular clientele, anyone that was actually doing business with the government was actually growing, duplicating, tripling, and quadrupling their revenues. And so the B2G model, I consider that to be one of the biggest kept secrets that is truly designed to help small business owners. So Carolyn Simmons, hello. Thank you for joining us live. Carolyn and Brand from Tennessee. Trying to find out more about before diving in. Yeah, so I mean, there's so much information. Of course, you can do due diligence. There's a lot of information, on Google. There's a lot of information, of course, across YouTube. This particular platform, you'll learn so much, even in more greater detail. But definitely, if I would say the litmus test is, if you're looking for a guaranteed customer, then this is it, right? This is going to be for you. If you're looking for a way to basically grow your business sustainably, then this is definitely going to be it. But definitely, today I'm going to be talking about those 3 ways that government contracts can actually work for you, right? And then maybe there's some other things that you're looking for in business that you haven't considered, that this government contracting concept could be the solution for you getting that. So anyway, so for some of you, the benefit, maybe one of these benefits will be just an eye opener for you. Like, yeah, that is exactly what I want. For some of you, maybe 2 out of the 3. And then for most of you, maybe it'll be all 3 aspects of what I'm going to be sharing today that actually helps you make the decision, gets you off the fence, and helps you make the decision if this is something that's going to be advantageous for you. So last week I spoke about the $1 million game plan, because literally, with government contracts, you can actually build a multi-million-dollar business in record time. And you can do that. I've seen it done. I've done it personally. And so many of my clients are currently in the process of getting that done and reaching those financial goals as well. But of course, it starts with the 6 figures and the multiple 6 figures, right? So last week I shared about the $1 million game plan. Asked you, do you have one? Helped you create and visualize a formula to get that. And then I also gave you access to grabbing my six-figure formula course that will walk you in great detail, that also comes with the template and all those other things, so that you'll understand how to plug in the numbers to reach your goal, right? Because no matter what it is that you want to accomplish, whether in business or specifically with your government contracting business, right, you have to have a goal. Where do you want to go? How much do you want to make? How are you going to get there? How many contracts do you want to get it land in a year, right? So those tools in that particular program, that particular miniature course is basically something that will kind of help you plan out what your goals are. And so yeah, I'll drop the link as soon as I find it. I'm trying to waiting for my assistant to get that link posted for me. But anyway, I'll try to drop the link if I can find it anywhere. But with that said, today I just want to go over the 3 ways that government contracts can work with you, starting with way number 1. So government contracts. So I want to say, let me see who's joining us here. Sorry, I see some more people popping in. Hey, Patrice, Lisa from Cali. Hello, Marie Davis, Ruth Faison. Hello, Diamond from Florida. Shatiria from Colorado. Hello, all you all. Sorry, my husband is calling while I'm live. Elaine from Maryland. I'm home working and listening at the same time, so don't mind me. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So basically, okay, so I want to talk about, so when I want to talk about, and I want to kind of infuse a little bit of my journey to help you understand like how this really can help you when I go through the 3 ways that government contracts can work for you. I remember when I first started my business, it was really a hit and miss, right? So I knew that I had something to sell and something great to offer, but I didn't really understand the marketing piece to it. I didn't really understand how to get regular customers, right? Consistent, sustainable income from that. And so I will get a customer here and a customer there. So if that's something that you've experienced or may be experiencing right now, or especially during a pandemic, like that has been your situation where you're getting customers here and there, but it's not sustainable. That means your income is not sustainable. For me, I knew that I didn't want to go work for someone else. I didn't want to go back to corporate America. So I had to figure out a way to simply get consistent, sustainable income, which means sustainable means it's going to sustain my household, right? I'm going to be able to pay my bills. I'm going to be able to live a little bit without having to worry about what we're going to eat or lights being turned off, right? So consistent, sustainable income is very important, especially for struggling small micro businesses or just a small business in general, or like working class business owners, right? Consistency, right? That sustainable income is going to be important because you want to know, like, is that going to feed your family month after month after month? Not just this month we're doing good and the next month we're struggling, and then we have these seasons. And I remember, like, when I started the business, for the first few years, I used to actually plan for those seasons. I like literally, I planned for the down seasons, right? So I said, well, every year I noticed that we will have good seasons where, you know, my income is good. I'll have like a couple regular customers on a regular basis. And then there's this whole period of dryness, right? So every year that I planned it to happen that way, it happened that way. But it wasn't until I changed my mindset and my mentality to where I stopped planning. I say, this is going to be the last time that I go through these, you know, these deep dives, you know, of inconsistent income in my business. And so I want to have something that's going to be sustainable. And I spoke that, right? You actually have to be careful what you speak and what you project for your own lives. And so once I spoke that I'm going to have consistent, sustainable income, that is kind of where the government contracting thing fell into place. Because number one, if you're looking for a way to get consistent, sustainable income, this is it. Government contracting gives you consistent, sustainable income. Why and how? There's a difference between doing business with individual people or individual business or private business, right? Because those are normally one and done, right? You get the work, you provide the service, you get paid, and that's it. Maybe you'll look out and do an upgrade. I don't know. Do an upgrade to another service. But typically the relationship between the one and dones is it's really one and done. That means you get paid one time, and now you have to find another customer and keep repeating that. The difference between that and actually getting one contract, whether it's with a government agency or a whole government entity or whatever, right? Contracts are, you get the contract, it's for a period of time, right? That contract minimums I've seen maybe 6 months. Rarely they're that small, but sometimes and most of the time they're like 2 to 5 years on average, right? So when you get that one contract versus one customer, which is get paid one time and that's it, one contract actually for that 2 year period, let's just say that's the minimum contract term, right? For that 2 year period, you're locked into that. That means every single month for the 36 months, that one contract is going to pay you every single month. So that's consistent, sustainable income. If that sounds good to you, if that sounds like something you've been looking for, if that sounds like something that that you want and desire in your business and you don't have it, then let me know in the chat if that's something that you want. Say, I want this, that I want that. And that is number one. That is the very first reason why I chose to do business with government agencies, because I needed that consistent, sustainable income, not only for my own sanity, right? But just for my lifestyle, right? I didn't want to be, Lisa says, I want that. I didn't want to be worried about this month I'm okay, but how am I going to pay the bill next month? Oh my God, I have to find a little quick job to go to. Now I have to defer my dreams, right? Defer my dreams to go work for someone. And how many of you know when you do that, it's so easy to get stuck again, especially it takes so much in the first place to step out on faith, to walk away from a corporate traditional job in the first place, right? So then if you put yourself in a situation to where you're stuck again, just think how much longer it's going to take you to get out of that situation, because now you're used to that every 2-week paycheck, right? That's a cycle. It's a cycle of poverty, really, unless you're getting paid really well and you love your job and you love your work and that's your lifestyle that you choose to have. It's a cycle of poverty. I say that because when you work a regular traditional job, job stands for just over broke because you're living paycheck to paycheck. But the truth about doing business for yourself is there's no limited income. You don't have no one telling you that this is your worth and this is how much we're going to pay you per hour and this is how many times you can call off, and you have to get permission to be sick. and if you're late or absent so many times, you're going to get fired, right? Your job security is always on the line, all that stuff. And so we have a lot of I want that. I see you, Monica from Florida. Hello, lady Shalee. Hopefully I said that correct. Lady Shalee, I think Shalil. I don't know. I can't really see no more. I'll be on these computers and they will make you blind. Hi, Ruth says absolutely. Shatiria says I want that. Consistent, sustainable income is what we talk about. Brand says, I need that yesterday. So Brand, so if you're considering government contracting, you're still diving and digging into it, that is the perfect reason, right? To get over the fence and to make that decision. Elaine says, I want that. Carla says, I want that. Lisa Collins says, you're talking about my job. I'm over it. Really? Yeah. Marie says, I don't want to get qualified for your I don't want to get qualified for your program but right now, but trying to put the pieces together first before I try. Gotcha. Understood. Okay. So consistent, sustainable income. Definitely. That's number one, right? That's one of the first ways that government contracts can work for you. Now, and if you want to question like, what can this do for me? Now, number one, it can give me consistent, sustainable income because the contract terms are like 2 to 5 years. And on average, my contracts are 2 to 5 years. And sometimes they're renewable every year for so many periods of years. And then I also I personally lucked up on a contract that's renewed. It's a 10 year. So it's the first 5 years and then it's another 5 years. And then there's renewable terms on that. So that locked me into basically a 10-year contract. And there's a lot of them out there like that. And we're just talking about one. So just imagine if you had multiples, right? So this is very advantageous because it brings you that consistent, sustainable income. You don't have to worry about that. You become your own security. You become your own job security, right? Because you're your own boss. You get to make your own time, your own hours, and all that stuff. So number two, the second reason why, which kind of ties into consistent, sustainable income, the second reason why government contracts, or how government contracts can work for you, is because it gives you regular paying customers. They're regular paying customers, right? And so what do I mean by that? Okay, so when you're doing business again with the private sector, individual people, right? Of course, in your mind, you're like, there's so many people who I can service, you know that, right? But it's really, really hard to convince people, right? You get into the customer chase, and you get into like sales and discounts and going to networking events. So it's always a constant hustle, right? And then you never know if people can afford your services. I saw this. I'm gonna try to download it if I can, but I saw this little Mona Lisa. It's kind of like a comical Mona Lisa quote and post on Facebook, and I was like, that is it right there. And so, but anyway, if I can find it, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But anyway, you get into this hustle mode of chasing individual customers, which is, of course, it's not something that you want to do, right? So having regular paying customers, when it comes to the government side, here's the thing. There's so many agents. Just think about local, state, and federal, those three levels. There's so many different agencies, right? And if they guaranteed have all of this money that they're spending with small business owners, right? And I always talk about the $9 trillion that the government spent last year, the federal government only, like, right? And then when you add the state, what they spent, and then the local city and county and what they spent, we're talking about trillions and quadruples of trillions, multiple trillions of dollars, right? On small business products and services, on professional services and products, right? And so 26% of, even just on the federal spend alone, was 2.3 trillion. That's a lot of money that was allocated to go to small business owners. Period. It's earmarked. No large business can get that. No mega business can get that. Only those who are considered small business owners. And then what are those? Like, what is considered a small business? I don't know. If you made zero, you're small. Even if you made up to, like in some industries, up to 30 million, you're considered a small business. So there's a huge range of what is considered a small business, and it varies by your industry. And so if 26%, 2.3 trillion on the federal spend level was guaranteed to go to small business owners, what does that mean to you? That means there's always customers. That means there's guaranteed money that they're spending, that they have to spend with you. So that means there's regular paying customers that are out there. They're waiting and looking for you. And so if regular paying customers is something that's been a hurdle for you to get and to achieve and obtain in your business, then this is it. This is an answer to that. So if you definitely want to do business with someone, with an agency or with an entity that not only gives you consistent, sustainable income, right, with those long-term contracts, but also they're regular paying customers, which means that you can land multiple contracts. There is no stopping in to how many contracts you can get within your business lifetime, right? They're always there. They're always looking for you. They're always looking to meet their goal. At the end of every budget fiscal year, they have this surplus of money that they wasn't able to give away because somebody's on the fence and they're thinking about it, and they're not in position to say, oh, here I go, give that to me. I provide that service. Yeah, of course I'll take a 5-year contract and do that. Yeah. So somebody that's on the fence missed out on that. And that is the reason why at the end of every fiscal year, they have this surplus of money that they're trying to give away. And then they start reaching out to those who are already in position and say, hey, can you take this? If they can reach you during that end of the fiscal year, then definitely you're going to get an influx of contracting opportunities towards the end of that fiscal year, because they have to get rid of those funds. And so that is the second reason why, second way why of how government contracts can actually work for you. So if this is something that you actually desire in your business, let me know that. Let me know that you desire sustainable, regular paying, regular customers. Just type hashtag regular customers, and then that way I'll know that this is something that's meaningful for you. So if you've been on the fence about it and you're still trying to think about it, and you don't know if it's going to work for you, and you've just been thinking for a long time, right? Just know that thoughts gets you no results if you're thinking about it. And it's no problem with thinking about things, but think about it in a timely manner to where you're not missing out, and make a decision. Either you're going to either do it or leave it alone. You don't want to be thinking about it for years, right? In the meantime, you could have been generating years of consistent income with regular paying customers and getting paid really good dollars of value, um, for your services and for your products that you actually sell, and growing your business significantly, right? While you're thinking about it and while you're trying to figure out if this is something, you have to make a decision. Either you're going to decide that you're going to do it, and you're going to decide that you're not going to do it and leave it alone and walk away and be good with that. But either way, you know what you're walking away with, because you've educated yourself, and you know what you're walking away from, right? Be okay with that, the opportunities that you've decided to walk away from. All right. So is this helpful for anybody? Let me know if it's helpful. Let me know in the chat. So I found the picture that I wanted to share, that I thought was very hilarious. Let me see. It's a file share. It's super funny. But this just kind of reminds me of like the mindset of some small business owners. Not everybody thinks this way, but just it reminds me of just the mindset of many small business owners that that I've encountered and I see, when it comes to like business, right? And when it comes to decision making, because sometimes the decision is not really, do I know it'll work for me? Is, can I afford to learn it, or can I afford to do it, or do I have the time to do it on my own, or do I want to learn from someone else? And so I saw this Mona Lisa is just so funny. So it's either you're going to get the real or you're going to get the fake, right? um, and the value of what you get when you invest in yourself, you get the authentic thing, right? That has long-term, lifelong sustainability, versus if you're looking for free and cheap, then you get the generic, right? You get a partial of the information. You don't get a complete system. And so I just thought that was very just like relevant to a lot of the things that I see out there, and the decisions that people make based on they want things cheaper, or based on they thought a $10 product, a $10 piece of paper is going to teach them how to build a multi-billion-dollar business. Like, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. So anyway, number 3, and this is going to be a short session today, because the one thing, the benefit that benefits me, how I'll have my business work for me, my government contract business work for me, is, for me, it was important for me to be able to put my family first, including my children and all their performances. So my kids have a performance today that I'm going to be going to. So I'm going to cut today's live stream a little bit short so I can get there and be there. But that's what's in it for me, like being able to be your own boss, being able to have government contracts that's sustainable, and they be in control of your time and how you want to spend your life. And all those things matter, and it matters to small business owners, right? Not just, it doesn't just matter to me, I'm pretty sure it matters to you as well. So the third reason, let me see. Okay. And all of these things are kind of related, but the third reason why, or the third way of how government contracts can work for you, is if it, just like that Mona Lisa, right? Because when you think about, and I'm going to put this back up here again. When you think about when you're doing business with individual people, then you run across this scenario right here. You run across that, right? Let's say you're a hairstylist. Maybe you charge $300 to $400 for braids, and people are always like, "Can you do it cheaper? Can you give me the homeboy hookup? Well, such and such, do it for that." And then the value that you get when you want things cheaper, it's going to be cartoonish, right? You're going to get what you ask for, right? And so, but the thing about government contracts is you're always going to get the Mona Lisa. You're always going to be, what do I mean by that? You're always going to get the top paying, they're always going to be a top paying customer. The US government is the number one biggest paying customer that you can ever acquire. And it is my belief that every small business owner or everyone in business, they're in business to make valuable dollars, top dollars, right? To get paid their worth, right? And if that's not true, then this is not going to be for you. But if it is true that you want to get paid the Mona Lisa dollars, right? The top value, the authentic dollars that says, yeah, we value your service, we value your work, then this is definitely going to be another reason to get off the fence and go ahead and get it done. Whether you do it yourself, figure it out on your own, join a program, get a coach, however you do it, you have to make a decision, right? Get off the fence and make a decision. Either you're going to do it or you're not, right? So the third reason, or the third way that government contracting can work for you is it gives you top paying customers who value your work, and they value your work over longer periods of time, which again, we get into that consistent sustainability, which is like 2 to 5 year contracts. And instead of getting paid the cheaper rates, you can 10x your rates. So let's just say you build websites for people and you charge $800 to build out a simple, maybe 3-page basic website. For the government, you're talking about $15,000 for that same simple 3-page website, right? So we're talking about a difference between, apples and oranges, right? Mona Lisas and cartoons. Getting paid. She talking at you right now. Y'all better listen. I'm just saying it's the difference. Getting paid top dollars for your value. And here's my story on that. So, and I was there. I remember, and I know so many other people that I've helped get out of that rut of having to do homeboy hookups and, getting paid little bit of money, but with all these big expectations. Cause it's those that pay minimum that becomes the biggest headaches, that have the most complaints, that gives you the most problems. But those that pay you top dollars, they trust your value, they trust your expertise, and those are the best clientele, basically the best clients that you can acquire, right? And what I mean by that is I'm going to give you 2 examples. One is I have a $27 product. It's very $27, right? It's very, very, it's a very cheap ebook, right? So I get more people that are headaches and just ugly people that have bad attitudes about a $27 product than I do about people who's paying $27,000 to work with me. Not all of my products are $27,000, but I'm just saying. It's a different. It's what did you expect for $27? Did you expect to learn a full complete system to teach you how to build a multi-billion-dollar business? No, you get what you pay for. You paid $27. You don't get the Mona Lisa, you get the cartoon. You get a little bit of something. Of course, it's valuable, but just know that it's not going to be the whole complete picture. So you got to know what you're paying for. And when you're asking for cheap things, you got to know that you're going to get the cheap result out of that, right? There's no results in there. And so Tamisha says, I was so full of customers asking for a cheaper price. I had shirts made for my guys. The shirt, let me put this up. The shirt rail, skilled plumbers aren't cheap and cheap plumbers aren't skilled. And that's true. And it's so true, because people want cheap stuff all the time. But when you do business with the right client, then you can get rid of those headaches. Like you really can, because the government, they pay you good for plumbing services and all different type of other services, as well as products and stuff and so on and so forth. And so the other example was, now, when I first started out, I started out with a video production company, photography company, and I would do video production. I was trying to figure out my pricing strategy because, and I was doing it for B2B, which is like business to business. And most business owners did not have money to get like a $5,000 video produced or commercial or promo or portfolio built, or whatever for their business. And so I really, 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 really undercut my service to like, okay, well, let's just do a flat rate $600. But that flat rate $600 for a small 2 to 3 minute video, which was full of great content, and it helps you market your business so that you can generate a whole lot of money. So for me, I'm walking away with nothing, because guess what? Not only do it takes the time, do it when you calculate the time that it takes to plan and produce and shoot a video, and then you add that to the time, several hours, like 20-30 hours of editing that video, and then converting the video and delivering that video, all that, doing graphic design and audio mixing, all of that stuff, you basically making $3 an hour. And so I went from a $600 client, right, which is like the cartoon client, to the government, which is the Mona Lisa, to being able to take that same video service that I'm charging $600 for, and actually get paid $90,000 for that same video, right? Difference between Mona Lisas and cartoons. And we're talking about with the government, because they value your work. They give you top dollars for your services. Every hour every hour you expense to them, right? Every hour that you put into the project, you expense to them. And so they pay you, and they pay you without blinking. They pay you without saying, oh, can you do it cheaper? None of that stuff, right? It's already on the contract. This is what I charge per hour. This is how long it's going to take, my estimated. And if I go over, blah, 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 this is my additional over the hour fee, whatever. Here's my invoice, and I want to get paid 30-day net. All of those are negotiable, right? So what type of clientele would you like? Do you want the Mona Lisa? If so, type Mona Lisa. Or do you want the cartoon? If you want cartoon, type cartoon in the chat. Mona Lisas, you want to get paid by clients who are Mona Lisas, or you want to get paid by clients who are asking for the cartoon version of your services and your products? Let me know in the chat. All right. So Shateria says Mona Lisa. Yeah. Cornell says Mona. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Janny says Mona Lisa. Hey, Tracy. Tracy says Mona Lisa. Absolutely. And so those three things, those three ways that I just shared with you of how government contracts can work for you, those are real ways, right? Those are the three reasons why I let everything else go and gave my complete focus into government contracts, because it allowed me to hit all three marks. It gave me consistent, sustainable income. It gave me regular paying customers, and it allowed me to also get regular paying customers, right, on a regular basis. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to chase them. I don't have to figure out how much money I'm gonna spend on a billboard or a marketing campaign or ads to kind of reach my customer clientele, whatever. I know where the government is. I know where they are. I know where they post what they're looking for, and I know how to pitch my services or complete an RFP or request for proposal, pricing my services accordingly to my work and what I want to get paid, right? I know how to do all of that stuff. And so Bryn says Mona Lisa for sure. And so definitely, so if those are the three things that you would like to have in your business and you're on the fence, it's time to get off the fence, because I'm here to tell you that is exactly what you get. And if there's something in particular that you want to know, can the government do this for me? Let me know in the chat before I go, because again, I have my priority is my family first. Gotta go support my children in their performance today. But let me know in the chat if there's anything particular or specific that you want to know. You're on the fence and you're trying to figure out, can government contracts bring me this result? Let me know that in the chat. I'm just curious. But I know those three that I shared are like top priorities for most small business owners. They want to know that those three things is what gives you security. Those three things is what helps you to feel secure in your decision of being able to do business with the government. It helps drive you to actually get the system done, like get this thing in place, do all that paperwork, all those applications that it takes to get certified, like all those steps. Like that's a motivator, right? Because if you know what's on the other side, maybe you'll be motivated to get to the other side so that you can start landing those contracts, so that you can start getting consistent, sustainable income, getting paid top dollars, getting those regular paying customers, and growing your business significantly, right? Because that's the end product of all those three things is you will have grown a significantly profitable business. So yeah, so good question, Carnell. Can it work for vending machines? Yes. So can it work for, so yes, can you, so basically you're asking, can you get a government contract for vending machines? Absolutely. On the state level, I see those all the time. Like when you and when you think about it, if you go into the prisons, if you go into like the courthouses, if you go into like some of the city agencies have cafeterias with vending machines, all of those vending machines are contracted out, right? They don't own that stuff. Somebody's bringing those vending machines and servicing them, and servicing them on a regular basis, and it's a contractual obligation, right? It's a contractual thing. And so yeah, definitely you can get a government contract for vending machines. But what do you want that government contract to do for you personally as a business owner, right? Do you want it to actually help you reach your first millions in business, right? That's even deeper, right? So those are two different questions. Can I get a contract for X, Y, and Z versus what do I want government contracts to do for me personally so that I can make the decision if this is something that I'm going to do, right? For me, it was, I needed consistent, sustainable income. That's deeper. That is so deep, right? That's consistent, sustainable. That's something that's tangible, right? Because once you have that, then you know this has brought me consistent, sustainable income, right? And you have the receipts, right? So any other questions? Is there anything else that anyone wanted to share or to ask? Like, can government contracts bring me this? Can it work for this? This is my desire. Can it help me reach that goal? Okay. Yeah. So Cornell says facts. That's what I need. Great info. I don't know who Kasaria is. That hey Kasaria. Yeah, how are you? It's been a long time. I haven't seen you since that Bobby Brown concert with who was it? The dude, I can't remember, but he sings street thug music or something like that. I can't remember his name. But Carolyn Simmons says photography. What is there a question about photography? Do you have a specific question about photography? Let me know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. All right. So Carolyn, let me know if you had a specific question about photography. But if you're asking can you get photography contracts? Yeah. In fact, I grew my first millions in government contracts for that specific service. So definitely government contracts for photography. I also have a YouTube video out on YouTube called Government Contracts for Photographers that may be helpful for you to learn about what type of photography services you can actually offer to the government. I haven't found curriculum writing bids. That's a viable area. Wait, I haven't found curriculum writing bids. I don't know what that means. That's a viable area. But Patricia, let me see if I understand what your statement. You want to know if there's a program that teaches you how to write bids, write and respond to bids. My program does. Like we walk you through. It's called the $1 Trillion Government Contracts Accelerator. We cover everything, including getting started, the business foundation, getting qualified, understanding how to bid. We actually go through bid writing strategies. We give you, examples. We show you the things that you need to do before you respond to a bid and what to do after you've submitted your bid response. We talk about the different types of bids that are out there, because there's like requests for quotes, requests for proposals, there's solicitations, there's a bunch of different types, and you respond to each type differently depending on what it is, right? And so yeah, our particular program here, we have the curriculum built into our program to teach you that. So you walk away with everything that you need, and when you implement the steps, you get the results. And there's nothing left out. So you know how to bid when you walk away. You understand the bidding process when you walk away. You understand what to do before you bid. You understand where to go bid, where to find bids, like all of that stuff is important, right? So you can't, it's just like going to school for a degree in something, but they never really taught you that something, right? So our program is designed to teach you how to do business with the government. And it starts with the basics, right? It starts with, are you qualified? What programs what certifications do you qualify for? How do you leverage those certifications? All those things are important. You have to know the full picture, the full complete picture, to have a complete strategy to be successful in it. You're not going to find a curriculum on that anywhere, right? But we have it in our program. You'll be, that's why I designed it, because I couldn't find a curriculum on it. So when it came to bidding, I was just hit and miss in the beginning. When I first started this journey, 15 years ago or whatever, however long it's been, I was hit and miss with it until I figured out what I was doing wrong. And I said, oh, right, now I understand. Now I know. Now I'm getting these contracts. Now I have a system. Now I understand exactly how to bid, how to do it successfully, the different bidding strategies, the different ways that you can approach bidding. Are you bidding as a prime? Are you bidding as a sub? Like, there's so many different micro steps and micro components to doing business with the government, but it's all covered in our program. So anyway, if you want to schedule a call with our team to learn more about our program, let me type in the website. Okay, let's see. $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com. That is where you would go to, I don't think I typed it right. $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com. That is where you will go to schedule a call, to apply to schedule a call to work with us. Basically, let me see. Hopefully this is showing. Let me know if you can see this, because it says that there was an error somewhere. But anyway, that $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com is where you would go to apply to schedule a call to work with us. And you're welcome. And we have I have a team that you'll be talking to. They'll answer all your questions about government contracting, our program, and how it can work for you, to make sure that this is something that, we can help you, because we only work with those that we know 100% that we can help. And then you will be invited to join us inside our program. You're welcome, Patricia. Okay, so I want to make sure that it posted. Let me see. There we go. Oh, is that you, Station? All right, so $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com is there. All right, so cool. All right, are there any other questions? Did I miss anything? The Meals on Wheels program, is this a government program? So good question, Ruth. Meals on Wheels, like the feeder program for senior citizens. So it's a local city contract. So yes, it is a government program. It's with your local county and city. So remember, there's three levels of government. There's a city, there's a state, and there's a federal. So normally Meals on Wheels fall under like the local food programs. But also, on the state level, there's prisons that need food. So yeah, there's a bunch of different types of food programs that you can get a contract for. You can actually be a chef for the government, there's so many different things, a baker for the government, baking cakes, all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely. You can get contracts for your food program as well. In addition to, just think about this, and this is a true story. When there was a hurricane in, let me see, I've been there before, Puerto Rico, there was a hurricane in Puerto Rico, maybe about, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago now. It's been a while, but when the hurricane wiped out everything, they had no electricity. They lost all their food. They put out a contract for a food program, right? For someone to feed this whole country of people, right? All these people that were displaced during the storm. And so it just so happens to be, there was an African-American lady who actually got that multi-trillion-dollar contract to feed the people, but she wasn't able to deliver on her services because she wasn't ready she didn't have the food, right? She didn't have the capacity of feeding all these people. But she did get the contracts. And so that just lets you know that, yeah, you can get government contracts for food programs, for food, period. Yeah. So let's see. What are there any other questions? See, yeah. So Cornell says, so your program pretty much walks us through every step. Absolutely. We walk you through every step. We have accountability. We make sure you're doing your part. When you have questions, you have someone that's an expert in the field to like live, like we're talking right now. You can bring your questions live. We have weekly live trainings. You bring your questions live, and I let you know, okay, so you ran up against this. This is how you handle that. This is what you do. And so having a support group like that is priceless. It really is. It's very priceless, especially when you're new to government contracts and you want to get this thing done. We've had students who've come into the program who didn't know absolutely nothing about government contracting, get started, implement the steps. And I keep saying implement the steps because it's work that you have to implement, right? We give you the steps, but it's your business. You have to implement the steps, right? It's work that you have to put in, as action steps. It's not about hoarding information. Oh, I learned all this stuff, and now you just have a big head full of information. You have to implement that stuff, right? And so we've had people come into the program, implement all the steps, ask questions, get their questions answered. We held their hand through submitting their first bid or their first couple bids, and then they've landed contracts 3 months later. Start landing the first, and then got a second, and then got a third within a 3-month period, right? So it works for those who work it. And it's a system design. It's a blueprint system design for success. Now, this is the exact same system that I actually learned how to build a multi-million-dollar business for myself. I put it into a system, simple system for those who've maybe never even done this before, never submitted a bid, never wrote a proposal, don't know the first thing about government contracting, to make it simple for you. So you don't have to spend years trying to figure out, well, what do I do? And how does this work? And what did they say over here versus what did I find on Google? And I found this on YouTube, and over in this class, they said that, right? You don't have to be confused by over information and misinformation, right? So we designed a system for you to be successful, because what we want is your success. We want your testimonials. That is what drives drives our success, is to help other people achieve success. So let me see. Is that a good area? No, I haven't seen the government looking for that. Have you seen those? Oh, I don't think I've seen. Oh yeah, so I haven't found curriculum writing bids, the viable area. Oh, okay, you're talking about I haven't seen the government looking for that. No. Yeah, you'll find curriculums, right? And yeah, so let me not say no, because you can get a contract with like the Small Business Development Center. That's a government entity, right? And a Small Business Development Center, they don't have that, right? So you can actually pitch that curriculum and get a contract that way. The SBA, the Small Business Development Center, your entrepreneurship centers or whatever that are funded by the government. So yeah, you can. You have to be creative, right? And in my program, I always teach about, it's not about what you don't see. It's not about what you see and what you don't see. It's about what you have to offer and what is your strategy to getting that opportunity, right? You don't have to wait for an opportunity to appear and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. You are a business owner, so you have to be proactive. You can say, hey, I've looked at this and I didn't see that you guys offer that. And this is how I believe it could benefit your agency and how it could benefit so many other people. And according to this statistic, this is the toughest thing that, people are having problems with. And you can submit that and say, hey, just pay me X, Y, and Z per student or per year or per curriculum or whatever, right? So you have to be creative in how you approach government contracting. It's not as simple as if they posted, that's the only way to get an opportunity. Is very complex, and there's a lot of different ways and strategies and approaches to doing business with the government. One is passive, right? The other is proactive. So you have to be proactive. When you don't see something that you want to do, you can offer it. Okay. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that answers your question, but it also helps you, Patrice. Yeah. I will look into those too. Thanks, Carwana. You're welcome. Give examples of government notary contracts. All right. So the best example, the best thing I can say to you, you're on YouTube. Look on YouTube for government contracts for notary services. I have a whole video specific on notary services when it comes to government contracts. But when you go to like family court, that's a government entity. When you go to the Supreme Court, all of those courthouses are government entities. When you go to anywhere that's government, and there's people that's utilizing services or applying for services that requires notary services. Those are government, those are basically notary contracts. And so but in that video, the YouTube video, I kind of break it down and what I've seen according to my research. And you can always also go to usaspending.gov. If you go to usaspending.gov, that's a federal website, and type in, do an advanced search for notary services, and you'll be able to see all the companies that are getting federal contracts providing notary services. And it'll even tell you if it's in the courthouse, if it's in the, social services for foster kids or whatever. It'll tell you a little bit more detail, right? So just check that out. I do accounting for businesses that receive government contracts. Good. So I'm gonna post this up. And wonder if my type of business can get government contracts since it's service-based. Of course. So yeah, my business is service-based as well. In fact, I actually prefer to work with service-based businesses. And so about 98% of those who are in my program are service-based businesses versus products, right? So definitely, absolutely, you can get government contracts for service-based businesses, especially for like accounting services. Absolutely. And then that's a really good service to have, because like when it comes to government contracting and contracts, and the accounting part is very important. And here's the thing about that, Rue. So many small business owners, and we're talking about service-based business owners, professional business owners, and I gotta go in a minute, but professional service business owners, we're talking about plumbing people who do plumbing, glazers, and these are contracts that I'm on teams with. A lot of these different types of trades that I'm talking about: electricians, painters. These people, like these contractors that have these multiple six-figure contracts, they don't know the administrative part of the business. So they don't know how to do accounting. They don't know how to keep their books. They don't know how to get bonding. They don't know. I mean, so they lack a lot of business admin, right? And so a service like accounting to help them on the back end while they focus on actually providing that service is a very key service. Is definitely a very key service, and a lot of subcontracting opportunities I can see you get for that. Subcontracting opportunities, absolutely. So anyway, hope that helps. But anyway, I do have to wrap this up. So I did want to recap the 3 ways that government contracts can actually work for you. If you're on the fence and you're trying to figure out if this is something that you want to do, here's the 3 things that we talked about today, which is government contracts can bring you consistent, sustainable income. It can also bring you regular paying customers, because they're guaranteed customers that are already out there. They already have money streamlined and earmarked for you, right? So, and this is on a regular basis. And this is like not here today because of a pandemic. It's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years it goes back. Every single year the government is spending money on products and services. So it's not gonna be it's here one day. It's not gonna be a trend. It's gone the next. No, it's here, and it's here to stay. So you get those regular paying customers. But also number 3 is that you get paid top dollars for your services, as well as longer terms, right? And most of your contracts are going to be 2 to 5 years in terms, at minimum 2 to 5 years. And so those are the 3 reasons of why I'm so passionate about doing government contracting. Those are the 3 things, the reasons that actually made me decide that this is where I'm going to anchor my business right here, because of those 3 things. And these are the 3 things that I believe every small business owner need to have, right, in their business, especially when it comes to just getting paid, knowing that you're getting paid, knowing that your business is growing, knowing that you got money in the bank, knowing that now that you're able to generate the type of income, right? And here's the great part, even more so, now knowing that now that you're able to generate the type of income that you want to generate, now you can live out some of your dreams of investing, because at some point, when you become a multi-million-dollar business, even at the multiple 6 figures, right, you have to find ways to have tax savings, right? These are like wealth conversations. You have to find ways to invest that money so that it's not just sitting there making nothing, or sitting there becoming a liability, because money can eventually become a taxable liability, right? If you don't know what to do with it next. So once you start reaching, doing business with the government, now you're in the big boys game, right? You're playing with the major players. And so this is where you're living out your dreams of, I want to invest something into corporate real estate or to personal real estate. And I want to invest money into a tax savings, tax advantage savings accounts and retirement accounts. And this is when you start playing with money and just sitting back and making your money work for you. Right. And so those are bigger conversations, of course, that we have inside my group for clients that I work with. So anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that that's the next phase, right? First, we're talking about how to get to the wealth. And once you have the wealth, it's important to know what to do with that wealth to make it continue to grow for you, work for you, save on taxes, all that stuff. Like, this is the Donald Trump thing. The Donald Trump, the multi-billionaires, they know what to do with their money once they have it. So where Uncle Sam is not taxing them 50% or whatever. So anyway, so Ruth says, definitely going to join your program. Yeah, we definitely invite you to, go visit us, apply to work with us at $1,000,000,governmentcontracts.com. And I'll post up the link in just a moment. Let me see. Got to implement tax planning strategies. Yeah, once you reach six figures, and you definitely do. And that comes from an accountant. I'm by no means an accountant expert, but I do know a little bit about what needs to happen. I do know a little bit about how to invest that money in how it all works and make it work for you, so that at the end of the day, you want to have a great retirement. You want to have something that you're sitting on nice. You want to have generational wealth that you can pass down. You want to have financial power. You want to be able to give back and contribute to communities and to causes, if that's something that you wish to do. But again, to work with us, $1,000,000,governmentcontracts.com is where you start. There's a short video on there that kind of summarizes government contracts and how it works. And then there's an application, right? So we want to know, if you don't have the time to implement the system, you don't qualify to work with us. Period. Right? So it doesn't make sense if you don't have the time to implement a strategy to learn how to grow your business, your application is going to be rejected. Period. Point blank. Because you have to have the time to implement the system so that you can get the results, right? So that's why I say we only work with those that we know we can help. There's an application process, and then you'll be invited to schedule a call with our team, who will then further make sure that you're qualified and make sure that we can help you and that it's a good fit for the both of us to work together. All right. So thank you so much for joining me here on the live stream. With that said, I want you guys to remember to keep your dreams ignited. I want you to know your worth and be willing to invest in your future, because it's yours. You have the power to invest in your future and to decide how you want to live your life. Never take no for an answer. All right. Information is everywhere. You're going to get wrong information, misguided information, people telling you, no, you can't. I've had so many people come through the program that said, oh, somebody told me that I couldn't do this. And I said, well, they lied to you. Let me show you how to do this. And here 90 days later, they're landing their first contract. Right. And so just know that never take no for an answer. But lastly, and definitely not by the least, live life by design and not by default. So I'll see you all next time, next week. Same time, same place, and you all have a great weekend. All right.